Hi everyone, I'm Jordan Carlos. Welcome to Can We Talk About This? The Karate Kid is one of the biggest martial arts movies ever.
Daniel-san!
With me to talk about what makes the film the best around is Walking Dead showrunner Angela Kang. Angela, thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be on and to see you again, Jordan.
What were your impressions then of the film when you saw it?
At the time, it's just pure love. I mean, it's such a fun story, and I think it's so warm and so much about family and about trying to make your way as a kid and finding mentors that meant something to you. And for me, this was one of the first times that I got to see an Asian American immigrant character that was sort of front and center in a movie. That was so rare at the time. So that was really cool to see.
Now that you've had time, and we're looking back, has it aged well for you?
Surprisingly, I think compared to many movies of that era, I do think the movie has aged well overall. There are obviously just some portrayals of things that I think are a little bit dated, but this was a big jump forward in representation. And I never felt like the intention of the filmmakers was to make him seem ridiculous or thin, but I could do with a little less pan flute when he comes in.
To the filmmaker's credit, Mr. Miyagi has probably the richest backstory. For him, it was like Japanese internment camp, he served in the military, he lost a child and his wife.
And I think even now, it's one of those things that it is one of the shameful parts of our nation's history. I think the fact that the filmmakers fought to keep that in is really important to that character.
Miyagi needs a prequel.
100%.
I mean, that guy he lived a life.
Yes, he did.
Miyagi have a hope for you.
In the 1980s, what was being served up as far as Asian characters were concerned was long duck dong.
Yeah.
And if that's all that you were taking in, then it was hard to get nuance.
I remember being a kid in the 80s, and at the time, stand-up comedians, they were making so many jokes about Asian Americans. To be honest,
Yes.
That still continues now sometimes. It was a rough time, man, to be an Asian American kid. Things have definitely changed over time.
Yes.
It's not like racism is fixed. That is definitely not true. But
No.
at least you started to see a little more nuance. And it was a big deal that Pat Morita got nominated for an Academy Award. That was huge.
Please forgive me, everyone, but when I was younger, I did not see the problem that every time Mr. Miyagi appeared, he was cutting the bonsai tree. He was doing things that connoted that he was other or different.
It plays into some tropes. Sometimes when it comes to Asian American Pacific Islander characters, it can kind of contribute to the overall air of mystery. In the lens of 2022, I watch him and I'm he's actually been in the country for over 40 years. And every single time he's on screen, it goes to great pains to be he is Japanese.
I understand now that it's kind of of a piece of Mr. Miyagi being magical and full of wisdom and there to help Daniel.
Even the thing where he would do this, I do that with my kid, but it's just putting a heating pad on. It's not magic.
Angela, it's always a pleasure.
It was so good to see you. This was really fun.
This has been Can We Talk About This? I'm Jordan Carlos. Enjoy the movie.